Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. May 23rd here in Kentucky, and it's a overcast day. I think we had some rain earlier. We're supposed to get rain for the next 4 or 5 days, which is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. I've only got about an hour to be out here, and there's a couple hives that I need to check. I've got a couple here and here that I gave a fresh frame of eggs, young larvae, about approximately a month ago, and I need to check for queen-right status. I think they're queen-right, just based on what I've seen at the entrance activity, but it's quite possible that they're not. So I just need to get in there, check, see if I see some eggs, see if the queen's in there. If she's in there, I'm gonna go ahead and mark her. But those two colonies just didn't come out of the, I think those were overwintered. No, were those overwintered? I honestly don't remember. It's all running together at this point, which is why you're supposed to be keeping good notes, which I don't do, and I need to be doing. I need to find some sort of like better note-taking system than the app, because when you're out here in the bee yard, the last thing you want to do is get your iPhone out when your hands are all sticky and covered with propolis and honey and everything else and try to type in notes, right? That just does not work very well. So I know why a lot of beekeepers write on the tops of their lids, which historically I have not done, but I probably will start doing, just very bare minimal notes, because in beekeeping we do what's easiest for us, quite honestly. So what else? This colony right there is going gangbusters, man. It's I'm pretty sure that colony came out of the winter and did not swarm. Single brood management, of course. I got 3 supers on that, and I suspect all 3 of them are pretty full. Maybe not all the way full, but I think they're working all 3 of them. And there's a chance I may need to put a 4th super on top of that colony, and I'm not out of supers, but I'm out of supers that are ready to be put on top of colonies. So I have a deep from that maybe hive that I got, so I may throw a deep super on there. We'll see. I just have to get in there and assess and see. I'm not going to get in the brood chamber. There's no reason to. I know they're doing just fine. There's probably brood all over the place there. But what I do need to do is just check to see if they're running out of room in the super. And then I need to check the queen-right status on these other 2 here. So let's go ahead and get in these colonies and see what's going on. Okay, let's go ahead and check this first hive. We need to, again, we need to check to see if they're queen-right. I think they are, but I don't know for sure, so we're going to find out together. I'm trying to beat the rain here. I think it looks like rain may be coming in. It's pretty gloomy and overcast here, so. Plus, my Pacers play at 8 o'clock, and we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. We blew the first game against Boston. We should have had that. Very frustrating ending for my son and I to watch, but it is what it is, man. It's a long series, so hopefully we come back tonight in game 2 and play well. All right. Let's see what we're looking at here. I don't know. Find out how this colony's doing. Quick scan for the queen. Always do that. Okay, let's see here. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seams of bees. Honestly, they're more on this side, so I'm going to start over here and just pull out this frame that has little to nothing on it. Same with this next one. That's what happens when these colonies, I'm going to get this smoke more out of their way since it's blowing there. When these colonies are, if I remember correctly, this colony swarmed coming out of the wintertime, and they were not able to successfully requeen themselves initially. And I got in here and I checked the queen status, and I saw that they didn't have a queen. And as you can see, there's a little bit of nectar in that frame. It really sets them back. Yeah, this frame's somewhat heavy. There's quite a bit of nectar in this one. Nectar on that side. I mean, when you go long periods of time without being queen right, that's why I wasn't expecting to get a honey crop off of this colony for that exact reason. I am going to be using a little bit of extra smoke because it is 5:30 at night, which means that the vast majority of the foragers are in here, and they're not going to be too happy to see me. But they're going to see me nevertheless. So, all right. So, let's see here. This frame has capped honey, fresh nectar, pollen, and bee bread in it. Certainly wouldn't expect to see our queen on that one. Still don't see any signs of life yet in terms of brood. So let's just keep looking here and see what we have. Yeah, so I'm afraid this colony may be queenless. Because I do see some capped brood, but it looks like all drones to me. And this could be the colony. I'm trying to remember when I was last in here. I did find a queen. I don't think she was mated yet. I think it was a virgin queen. I marked her, and the marking cage fell. And I'm afraid she got injured when that happened. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit of brood in here, but I'm like even open brood. But my instinct tells me this is likely. I think it's a laying worker hive. It's hard because I don't have sunlight out here. So let's see here. I'm just trying to look down in these cells, see if I can see eggs, multiple eggs, what we're looking at here. But do you see all this? See how this is all drone brood, sporadic like that? Where they're popped up like large bubbles there? That is not what you want to see. Now, there is open brood in there, but I think those are all drones, and it could be drones from a laying worker. I almost need to use a flashlight, and of course I don't have one on me because that would have been smart to see. It is also possible that queen that I did mark has just now started laying, and the drones that you're seeing from there before was during the point when they were queenless. And now that I just heard thunder, so I'm up against the clock here. And now that she has returned, it's possible they dispatched those laying workers, and she's in here laying somewhere, and that's going to end up being worker brood, and this will sort itself out. It's really hard to tell at this point. I am checking to see if she's in here. I'm doing my best to look inside this comb, but it's really hard for me to tell. And that's all nectar. Okay, I just saw something very positive. It is worker brood, but now that I'm thinking about this, when I thought I injured her, I grabbed a frame of eggs from the resource colony and stuck it in here in case, well, number one, that open brood pheromone does help suppress the laying workers' ovaries to an extent. It's mostly I believe it's the queen mandibular pheromone that mostly suppresses laying workers, but having open brood also suppresses the laying workers. So I wanted to put an open frame in here just in case I did damage her and they needed to supersede her and raise another queen. It's possible she's still in here. But here's the worker brood. I just wonder if they balled her because she was damaged. But I don't see an emergency cell or cells off of this frame, which tells me they still felt they were queen right. Boy, there sure looks like there's eggs. Oh, there is a queen cell right there. No, I don't see eggs. I see really young larvae, though. I wonder if she was laying. I don't know. This is one of those mysteries where it's kind of a. But she hasn't emerged yet. The good news is there is a virgin queen cell right here, capped. So she should be emerging pretty soon. That they're crawling on right there. Come on, get out of the way. Not the largest looking queen cell, but they'll make use of it. And I have not seen that queen, that virgin queen that I marked. I haven't seen her in here, so I'll probably do one more quick scan. These bees are very calm on the comb. I do like the genetics. So this is one we're just going to have to continue to monitor. I'm going to stay out of them, though, again, for another couple weeks, because depending on the weather, and with it being cold, or not cold, it's definitely not cold, it's warm, but with the rain forecast coming, she does emerge. She's not going to be able to go on her mating flights. So this could be one of those colonies that I leave alone even for 3 weeks and just stay out of them. Let them try to sort themselves out. And if I get in here and there's laying workers, I'll deal with them at that point in time. But this is one of those cases where continuing to be curious and get in here can end up causing more harm than good. You know, this may be their last chance to get queen right. And I may steal a queen from that orange resource hive if I find her in there, because they were requeening, but it's about time where I need to check that one for queen right status. So that's why you have resource hives. So I may steal a queen from there and stick her in here, and that queen cell emerges and they decide which one they want to pick. You know, they may kick the virgin out. So I'll do one more final check on these last frames here. Yeah. This is one of those colonies that part of you just wants to do a combine with a queen right colony and give them this boost to population here. The other side of me is like, well, let's see what they do. And if they turn into a laying worker, I can always use that newspaper method to put them with a queen right colony and get them sorted out here. So it's not like I don't have options. But that, if that, and I think it was this colony that I had that queen, that cage accidentally fell off. If that's the case, then I don't think she's in here anymore. They very well could have balled her, but they're not hopelessly queenless. There's that one queen cup in there. So we're going to see, we're going to mark this one as a continued watch, see what happens, and go from there. It's possible they could sort themselves out, but my focus on this colony right now is obviously nothing to do with honey production and everything to do with trying to get the numbers boosted and ready, and just healthy. Not really the numbers boosted, but just get this colony healthy and ready to overwinter. If I can get 2024 queen successfully returned to this colony, they'll be just fine for next year. So we're going to button them back up here and just put them as a watch. Okay, kind of what I expected, but let's go ahead and move on to this next one and see what's going on in there. Okay, let's check this white one. I'm a little more optimistic on this one based on what I saw coming in and out, but once again, you don't know till you get in there. So. Yeah, this inner cover that I got from Better Bee really likes to stick on me. It's kind of annoying. I mean, stick good. Goodness gracious. All right. Small colony, guys. Got like 3 seams of bees here. Talk about nursing a colony. Really just need to combine these with another colony. But again, if they're queen right, so be it. We'll see. We'll see. They may not be happy to see me either. All these foragers are back. Nectar, 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 honey. Good looking frame. Good looking frame there. Yep. Nectar. Wouldn't expect to find a queen on that frame. I'm going to keep them smoked down pretty good because really not in the mood to get tagged today. It's a little lighter. We could have some brood here. These bees are a lot more jittery on the comb. You see that? I don't really care for that. I actually try to breed against that trait. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. The bees are just kind of running around on the comb. Not as bad now. They've calmed down a little bit. But when I first pulled this frame out, they were just running around on the comb. This side's a little more calm. So it's not terrible. I'm looking down in there to see if I can... I think I see larvae. Oh, that's so hard to tell without light. All right, I'm going to look off camera. No, I do not. And this is why you bring a flashlight in your pocket. So here's some bee bread, if you want to see what that looks like. There's your bee bread. There's your capped honey. They call that the honey band that goes around the top. With their intention is to put brood in here, but they've got it filled with bee bread. I do not see any signs of life yet. We got about 2 more frames, and that's going to tell us. Oh, there's a queen. Just like I thought. Okay, let me go ahead and grab her. Let's get her marked. She's brand new. She's in a whole mess of bees, so this could be a little tricky. Got her. Okay. So like I suspected, this colony is fine. So we got a nice mated queen here. She's newly mated though, for sure. I'm going to go ahead and put a nice green dot on her. And again, my focus on this colony is going to be getting them ready for the winter. And then she can be a good producer for me next year. The one thing I don't like about these marking cages is They don't always hold still for you, of course, or cooperate on getting in between the seam of the openings there. But I have, I've marked some queens, just, picking them up and pinching them and holding them. I'm just not super comfortable with it yet. I'm sure I'll get there. But I always feel like I was talking to Selena, who is on Bob Binney's YouTube channel, and I was asking her, I was like, "How do you do it?" And she's like, "Oh, I just grab them and then I pinch the side of her legs and mark her that way." And I've tried it, and I only get like 1 or 2 legs. And she goes, "Yeah, you have to be careful because your tail tear her leg off." And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to do that, So I'm like, I was like, after you grab her, I mean, can you hold her by the thorax and the abdomen long way? And she goes, "Oh yeah." And I said, "I've done that before." And then I put the queen back and it looks like she's passed out or fainted. And I've talked to some other beekeepers like John Benham, EAS Master Beekeeper, and he's like, "Oh, that's normal." And that just doesn't make me feel normal, because this queen right now is in here going nuts. I don't feel like I've significantly upset her to the point where she passes out. So I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm really close. I'm practicing. The more colonies you have, like I came out of winter with 10. I have 22 colonies now. I've sold a couple nukes. And I think the more time you spend with your bees, and also the more queens that you have, if I were to accidentally pinch or injure a queen to the point of I literally just messed her up and I've got to pinch her now, if you only have 3 colonies, that's a huge deal, right? But if you've got 22, 30 colonies, you've got 4 resource hives or whatever, not as big of a deal, right? So those commercial folks, I think they learn really quick because, oh, you need another queen? No problem. We got, 500 of them over here in a bank, So I think I was more nervous in the beginning because I didn't have as many hives, but the more hives that you get, I think you get obviously more experience, and you get more confidence, I would say, in being able to handle the queens. Because I just sold a mated queen for, I charge $45 for a mated queen. I've seen some people charging $60 for a mated queen. That's a lot of money. I mean, $60 for a bug, you know what I mean? That's a lot of money. So if you only have 1, 2, 3 colonies, the fewer you have, the more nervous you're going to be with that queen, because you can't just go replace her without spending $40 to $60, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, I'll get there eventually. I'm just not quite there yet where I feel comfortable not tearing off one of her legs or not injuring her, or I just don't like to see them pass out on the comb and the worker bees are like, "What did you do to our queen?" You know what I mean? Whereas this one, I put her back in there and she's going to immediately crawl down and she's going to be super fine. But I know the ultimate goal is to where I don't have to mess with this thing. That is my ultimate goal. And especially this sitting here, like I was just talking about earlier, wind blew it off. So it's not windy out here today, but I'm definitely going to be more cognizant of that going forward, because, here I thought I was fine. I just had it sitting up here and a gust of wind came along, blew this off, fell down, and obviously she got injured and they kicked her out. It's a good thing I put another frame of eggs in there so they could raise another queen. Or again, I was contemplating just combining them with a queen-right colony. There's lots of options in beekeeping, which you've heard me preach about many, many, many times. So, okay, well, this colony is small but mighty, and I believe that she is on her way of getting them turned around and ready for wintertime. So I think she's been in here long enough. I'm going to go ahead and release her back into her colony. There she goes, right back down. So super easy. Okay, let's get the lid back on this. They're in here roaring and nasing-offing and everything else because they know. I'm going to put that on the back. They knew within about 45 seconds that she was gone. It's amazing how quickly that queen mandibular pheromone dissipates throughout a colony when she's not in there. So, okay, good news. So we need to mark this one queen right? Let me grab one of the bricks here. And we know this colony is good to go. And so what's left? I need to check this colony. This colony is kicking butt and taking names. I was out here earlier and they were ripping and roaring. I don't know if it's because they have such great numbers or what, but I suspect all 3 of these are full, and I have a maybe deep. That's all I have left. And I may be putting the deep right above the brood chamber, so I have to pull all 3 of these supers off. We're going to assess how full they are. If they're not completely stuffed or full, I'm not going to do that. There's no reason to. But, you know, it's only May, what I say, 23rd, I think. So our flow typically goes through June here, at least towards the tail end of June. Plenty of rain and sunshine. Stuff is still blooming. Has it slowed down from the very beginning of May? Of course. But that's the ebbs and flows of the flow, right? No pun intended on that. But, you know, hey, we could still get plenty of stuff yet to bloom. The white clover is popping everywhere, okay? The bees are going to hit that pretty hard when they need to. I don't even see that many bees on the white clover, which tells me they're still on other sources. There's still bush honeysuckle around here that is blooming. I was pointing that out to I think it was my mother-in-law the other day. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of it that's dried up around here, but look, there's blooms right there, and we were pointing it out. So, and another guy, Mike, who bought a nuke off of me, he was out here, and I was like, see, there's still bush honeysuckle right there. So there's still stuff that they're finding for sure. Dave Hansberry texted me earlier today, and he said he was in some colonies, and there was wet nectar in them. So that wet nectar is if you go to pick up a frame and it falls out, drips out, or you can shake it out. That's wet nectar, which tells you that it's very recent, that the bees haven't had a time to cure it or cap it or anything else. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get inside this colony and see if we need to put that deep super on. All right, here we go. Step over this one. Should be able to tell pretty quick. What this colony's looking like. I bet they're going to be extra fussy too on me, aren't they? Yeah, they're might have to glove up on this one. We'll see. They're going to be pretty. Yeah, they're already getting irritated. I'm going to glove up. I'm not in the mood. Not in the mood. Can't really say I blame them. Got this much honey to protect. They're just coming out at me already with some smoke. I'm not going to mess with it. Oh, man. This is a strong colony, guys. All right, our queen should not be on here, but you never know. Because I got queen excluder on this colony, so. Completely stuffed super. Let's see what this one in the middle, because I do super down, so. I don't know if y'all. Oh, for the love of God. Oh. Okay. Oh boy. I don't know if y'all recently watched Cayman's it was the one where he had a single with like 5 or 6 supers above it. If you watch that one, she tried to tag me. I lost my train of thought. I didn't know what I was going to say. Something about... What was I going to say? I have no idea. Okay. Well, anyway. This one is pretty full too. I don't think it's quite as heavy. No, it's not. But that one looks pretty heavy too. Oh, this is the heaviest one. Yeah, they are. I know, you are not happy. I know. It's all these foragers that are back. I would say this one's got to be 50 pounds. This one's 25 to 30. Let's see what this one is. About the same as that one. That one maybe 30, 35. Oh, goodness. I'll bring you in here. I know it's not really fun to watch from a distance, but I'm no Bob Vila. I don't have a filming crew here. But as you can see, this is just a very strong colony. I think this is one of my overwintered queens that did not swarm. And maybe that's what I was trying to get at, what Cayman was saying in his video, is that if you can keep them from swarming coming out of winter, see, they're still drawing those. And they are drawing wax right there. These single deeps, or single deep, single brood management, look at that one, can really produce a lot. So they've got a couple frames on that end, a couple frames on that end where they're still drawn out. I'm still going to put this deep on there. They may not touch it, but honestly, there's no harm. I really want to get in here just to see if, I mean, I bet there's just brood galore in here. So they need more space. I do know that. But if I give them that super to go up into, that extra deep super, and I'm going to put it right on top of this brood chamber, then I'm hoping that'll be good enough. So let's go ahead and put the camera back on the stand here. Yeah, they're not happy with me. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You're popping me, aren't you? What is going on here? Go on down. Go on down. Yeah, this colony's a little spicy for my apiary. Maybe what they say is true, guys. Maybe the spicier ones here produce the most honey. I don't know. I always thought that was a old wives' tale, or an old beekeeper's tale. Let's put it that way. My God, if they fill this thing up, though, it's going to be backbreaking. Where'd I put my space? There we go. All right, you got plenty of room now. Super colony. And these frames are heavily waxed. I even made sure of it. I took your guys' advice, and I put a lot of... I didn't really have time to melt or brush or anything, but I just had some bars of wax, and I just smeared the snot out of it on there. So it's going to smell like them. That's the point. And not plastic foundation. What's going on here? Come on. Space appropriately. There we go. Strong colony, though. And I think ultimately what I was trying to suggest is Cayman showed in his video that you can get excellent honey crops off of single deeps. Well, this colony's mad. Not mad. I mean, mad, let's be clear. It'll allow me to quantify there. Qualify, whatever the right word is. Mad for my yard. Oh. There we go. This is going to be fun and interesting. Okay. This is where you need to be like 7 feet tall. Okay. Oh. Worst case, even if they don't fill this with honey, hopefully they draw some wax on those frames for me. That's a win-win. Oh, this is going to suck because This is the heaviest one. This thing's at least 50 pounds. Lift with the legs, not the back, Josh. Okay. Next time you buy some honey from your local beekeeper and you ask them, why is it so expensive? You come out here and do this back-breaking work and with angry bees. And then you might think it's a pretty darn good deal. Holy moly. Oh, okay. And again, I'm pretty sure this is a red dot queen that didn't swarm. Oh. But obviously you don't get every colony producing like this, but I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colonies that are not quite as good as this one, but up there in terms of production. So we're gonna see what they can do here on this deep super. And you would talk about trying to pull one of those off fully loaded. Good grief. Okay, all right, girls, enough. We're done. We're done. Okay, sorry to bother you. It's like you wish you could tell them I'm here to help. Okay, well, that was fun. So we got one colony still queenless. Got one colony here that's queen right, and we got one mega producing, not mega, but really nice producing honey colony here that's gonna, I think when all's said and done on this colony, I could get 100 pounds out of it, to be honest. So, and that's a lot out of one colony, at least I think it is. I mean, I've heard some people north of 120, 150 pounds off one colony, but certainly if anybody tries to tell you you can't get in a good honey crop off single brood management, they're full of you-know-what. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, I'm running out of daylight. I'm tired, and I think rain is coming in. So we're going to wrap this video up. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next one.